What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Terrence Ryan, because this is a guy whom I believe is gonna be one of the most dangerous bodybuilders going into 2025 and a big contender to win his first ever classic physique Miss Olympia. Because the thing is, Mike Sommerfeld, him placing second at this year's Miss Olympia, that cleared a lot of misconceptions. Because the biggest lesson that we learned from this year's Olympia, especially in classic physique, is that classic isn't turning into a tall guy division, and the judges do not really care about the height. They care about aesthetics, the shape, the flow, because if that was the case, Fazi Wizards would not have placed 8th in the world. So why am I saying that Terrence is gonna be one of the most dangerous guy in the classic physique circuit in 2025? Well, the answer is very simple. The amount of muscle he can pack on his frame, and still not worry about that weight cap. That is more than any of these other guys who are gonna be in the first call out, or even top 8. And the man has zero weaknesses. He is very complete from every angle. And yes, I know, he doesn't have the biggest arms in the division, especially the biceps, but one more year of solid training under his belt, and his biceps are gonna look even bigger, which I guess is gonna be Terrence's biggest focus this year. Plus the fact is, Terrence doing the commentary this year, when the classic guys were up on that stage, that must have motivated the hell out of him, seeing all his fellow competitors going at each other. And we want to see a similar comeback from Terrence Ryan like the one we saw from him back in 2019. When he took the whole year off, he came back in 2020 and he placed second, and that too 2 years in a row. So with no champion in 2025, classic physique division is gonna be hyped up to the max. So what do you guys think? Who is the frontrunner going into the Olympia 2025? Yet another congratulatory message to Samson Dauda, especially his wife, and another clap back towards the haters by none other than William Bonac. So that reaction that we saw from William Bonac when Samson Dauda was announced the new Miss Olympia, that was just so beautiful, and it reflected how happy the man is for Samson Dauda being crowned the best in the world. So what is next for William Bonac? Are we gonna see another retirement? Well, I'm gonna say no. Why would he retire when he just placed top 7 in the world, beating so many good guys? And the thing is, none of us actually expected that. Most of the people, including myself, we did not even have William Bonac in the top 10. But I'm gonna say, what a great comeback. And with the Pro League increasing the prize money with every passing year, especially for 2025, it is the worst time for any bodybuilder to take retirement, especially a guy like William Bonac, who won that Emperor Classic Spain earlier this year, and he placed second twice, once against Nathan Diasha and then against Behrooz in Dubai. They also got the prize money of 40 grand. So this performance of William Bonac in the entire 2024, that must have convinced him to continue to be a competitive bodybuilder so that he can continue to provide for his family. And honestly, the way he looked at the Olympia this year, there is no reason to doubt him ever again. He can win shows in 2025, and he can be back on that stage once again. So in that statement that William Bonac released, there isn't any hint of him hanging up the posing trunks. And that only means one thing: he is gonna continue to compete in 2025. Next up is the former Miss Olympia Brandon Curry. So we did not really have a chance to talk about Brandon. And although he placed 9th in the world at this year's Miss Olympia, which is his lowest placing at the biggest show in the world since 2016, but you have got to appreciate that he did bring up his legs somehow, at least to a certain extent. So when Brandon Curry first came out on that stage for this year's Miss Olympia, my first impression was, most of us have really underestimated him. But the thing is, he wasn't dry all around. Now I think if he was peaked a bit better than that, I am very sure that the judges would have given him another chance, and maybe rewarded him as well, because no one can deny that Brandon still has one of the most beautiful physiques in the men's open class. So what is next for Brandon? Well, first of all, he doesn't like to be called the old man, because he doesn't feel old. And with that said, Brandon doesn't intend to retire. He is gonna continue to get better, maybe bring better conditioning, and better peak the next time he steps on stage, in whatever show he chooses to do in 2025. And I'm gonna go as far as saying this: despite his placings at the Olympia this year, Brandon looked very impressive, way better than our expectations. And all that trash talk by his former coach, Abdullah, that Brandon looked like a men's physique competitor at 16 weeks out, that turned out to be a lie. Next up, we have the physique update from Behrooz, who I believe is less than 4 weeks out of this year's Romania Pro. Now we have to keep in mind Behrouz's attendance at this year's Romania Pro that hasn't been confirmed by him or even his coach Milo Sarcev. But I have to say there is just no way he did this long of an Olympia prep for absolutely nothing. So I believe he is gonna step back on the stage in less than 4 weeks' time and not only secure his Olympia spot for 2025, but also add another win to his resume, which is gonna be his 3rd win of the year. So for those of you guys who do not know, Behrooz has already won 2 shows this year. One was Italy and the other one was Dubai Pro, which brings him to a total of 4 pro wins in his pro career so far. So he is gonna continue to stack up those wins, and it doesn't really matter whether he gets to the Olympia stage or not. And I have got to say it was so heartbreaking to see the empty seat of Behrooz for the 3rd consecutive time at this year's Miss Olympia. But there is literally nothing we can do about this. So I have a question for you guys. Where do you guys think Behrooz would have placed at this past Miss Olympia if he brought that same Dubai Pro look? I think top 6 would have been very realistic for him, because we just talked about this. William Bonac placed 7th, and Andrew Jacked, he kinda missed his peak. And Behrooz, we all know, is always dry and ripped to the bone whenever he steps on stage. So hopefully Behrooz is gonna do both Romania and Prague in this post-Olympia tour and make that very exciting. So is Ryan Terry gonna be the first guy to break the record of Jeremy Bundia and his 4 Olympia wins? Well, that is what he said in that interview to NPC News Online. And the way Ryan Terry has looked in these past 2 years, I don't know how many of you guys are gonna agree, but I believe that should be the standard of men's physique division.
I'm coming for Jeremy. We're coming for this 4 times now.
Yes, that's what we want to hear. All right.
So by winning that 2nd title, he just solidified himself that his first Olympia win last year, that was no fluke at all. And the man is here to stay. And I think it is gonna be really hard to knock out a champion like him. I mean, that guy has one of the best looking midsection in the entire men's physique division.
And still Olympia champion, Ryan Terry.
He has an awesome back, and he is extremely good when it comes to posing and presentation. And his story is so unique because it took him 9 or 10 years to win that title for the very first time last year. And now he seems very invincible. So next year I think is gonna be a bit more challenging for Ryan Terry, since the 3 times men's physique champion, Brandon Henriksen, he is also gonna be making a comeback. So he too doesn't have a lot of time left as a competitive bodybuilder. So he is gonna give his 100%, trying to reclaim that throne. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.